Hello, and welcome. This week I'm painting a river with fluid painting and texture. Let me show you how I did it. First, you're going to want to take a canvas and you're going to want to use a lot of hot glue and just let it dollop into all sorts of areas. You want to leave a middle kind of windy area open and flat for the river to be, and then have the rocks all throughout. Maybe put a few of the hot glue dollops. They will spread out and kind of get a little flatter after you put them out in the middle to be a little fork in the river. The first thing to do is to mix up all your colors. I used Dick Blick student grade acrylic paint and I thinned it with water. We want to mix up a bunch of blues for our river, and we're going to make a dirty cup and set that aside with all our blues. Remember that rivers are more than one color, so use a bunch of different blues. Light blues, teal blues, dark blues, and some whites for the rapids. And you're going to make that dirty cup. You're also going to mix up your side colors. I've got black, green, and grays because I wanted there to be depth. I wanted the gray for the stone, and I wanted it to have a bit of a mossy look. So we have our dirty cup filled with all sorts of colors of blues, but we want to create the barrier so that the river will stay in the river section, which is that middle part where we didn't put the hot glue. I want the sides of my river to look like the water is splashing up onto the rocks, so I'm going to start by putting a white barrier. I also dripped the white around those middle fork in the road rocks because that's where the water would crash up onto the rocks and create a spray and rapids which are white. Then I'm going to fill in the rock area with gray, green, black, just so that we completely kind of fill that area up as best we can. Since there is different depth, in order to not have to use too much paint, I'm going to kind of tap it so that it sits on top of those hot glue dots that are our stones, so that I don't have to flood it too much. But I just kind of went back and forth and just kind of on a whim where I thought there might be more gray, more green, more black recessed areas. Once we have the side areas covered, these don't need to be finished as we want some movement, so make sure you have enough paint on the sides that it will move with this. Then we're going to take our dirty cup of blue and pour in the direction that the river would flow. So bring it down one side, and then you might come back and bring it down the other side, but you want to get the linear movement of the river going in this pour. Go until you have enough of the blue ribbons going down the river to fill up that area. I re-emphasized the sides with some white and around those center fork rocks because I wanted there to be extra spray and extra white so that it looked like it was hitting the sides. You'll notice that I have not covered the rocks in the center here, and that's because I don't want the gray seeping into the river. After I move this around, I will take care of those rocks. So we're going to go ahead and just start moving this around. And I am going to bring it into the rocks a little bit because the water does kind of flow into the rocks, but the primary part of this pour and movement I want to be directional with the way the river would flow once I actually get into this. So first weave it in a little bit, and then we're going to pour it diagonally side to side so that the water starts to run and it starts to reveal some of those different colors, but it looks like it's moving in the direction of the river. Once you have the movement of the river pretty well set, it doesn't need to be 100%. You can tap on the gray and green, darker colors onto those rocks to emphasize them. Take any final movements you want of it. Don't overwork this too much because you can get it a little overworked. You want it to have big bands of colors, and you want it to have moved in between some of those rocks and things, but not overly. And once you're happy, then you can, if you want, and I did want to, I added more white by just kind of dripping it in and letting it kind of settle into those areas that I wanted emphasized with the rapids, because my white did move a little bit more than I wanted it to. I think by adding that extra white and kind of moving it along the direction of the river just a tiny bit, and even up into some of the rocks where it would splash on, it looks super neat. And it does settle in a little bit, so it's a little less obvious, but it absolutely helps create more of the illusion of a river by adding additional rapids and additional white areas. I really loved how this turned out. It just has so much movement and such a great illusion of a river. The water part especially is just beautiful. I'd love to know if you try this. Let me know in the comments, and I hope that you have a magically creative day. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. If you're local to Northern Colorado and would like to take a class, visit rebelunicorncrafts.com to see my class listings. If you'd just like to see what I'm up to, visit my Instagram at rebelunicorncrafts, or if you'd like to see my art, you can visit my other Instagram at Lacey Walker Art. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a magically creative day.